Well, welcome. This is our official Impact webinar. We are so excited to be with you. Thank you for tuning in with us. It is truly my honor and delight. My name is Bonni Pomush, and I get to lead this amazing organization, Working Wardrobes. And I am here today with my incredible colleague, Johnny DeFrange, who is our Director of Social Enterprise. We are so grateful that you are here with us and that we have an opportunity to share with you what we all really love and share in common, right? This organization has brought us together because we have shared values. We all care deeply about creating uplift and literally empowering our fellow humans. So today our webinar is going to really focus on what you do, Johnny, to literally lead the social enterprise of Working Wardrobes. So thank you so very much for not only being here with me today to share this, but literally for you bringing your talent, your experience, your soul to this mission. You and I met just 2 years ago. And in 2 years, so much incredible progress that you have led the creation of at Working Wardrobes. So I'm really excited to dive into that today and share more, obviously, with our community of supporters, what you're doing to help lots and lots. I mean, over 5,000 people this year, or even for six, will be touched by this mission. Johnny, you came to Working Wardrobes very prepared to be the social enterprise director. You came to us with your own personal experiences, work experiences. Would you share a little bit with our audience about you?
Absolutely, Bonnie. Thank you so much. Hello, everyone. My name is Johnny, and this is, I believe, our third social enterprise webinar. Very excited here. I remember my first one like it was just 2 years ago because it was. But I came from a big background in retail in which I led over 40 different retail stores across two different theme parks at separate times there. And I always thought to myself, how can I leverage some of the experiences and my love for tangible quality products to actually help people? A big part of what drew me to Working Wardrobes is some past experiences of my own personal life where I experienced homelessness, and I really didn't know the next step into how I was going to get a job and how I can get gainful employment. And it took me a year of my own time to really pull myself up through that and utilizing help through friends and people I've randomly met at coffee shops and even LinkedIn. And once I had my career nice and established, I found Working Wardrobes, and I found a position that aligned with my experience in the retail, which is our social enterprise position. And it was a match made in heaven. I realized that I could still contribute to my community with my skills in retail, but also help in the nonprofit space of helping people fight the challenges that they may be experiencing in those barriers and help them find gainful employment. And it really made a wraparound circle for me. And that's what I see every time that we have a sale going on in our stores or an event at our Career Success Center. I see people that remind me of me from just 7 or 8 years ago. And just a couple days ago, someone told me that they landed a job. And that feeling is always like just jumping in a nice cold pool. That shock I get when I hear that of I just landed that job, because I remember when I got my call and the offer was enough that I could get my own place and that I didn't need to worry about where I was sleeping next week. That change.
That's
And that's
life-changing.
exactly why I came to Working Wardrobes and use those skills in retail to help us fund the mission forward.
Johnny, this is so pure of heart, and so what I think is incredible about not only the mission, but about you as a human. So thank you for
Thank you.
sharing your experience with us. And I'm literally so glad you're here. I'll never forget you sharing with me, Bonnie, I just wish that I had known about
Yeah.
Working Wardrobes when I needed it. And so I'm really grateful that we get to be a part of the solution and creating that for people.
Absolutely. And it's such an important thing, like just the knowledge and the awareness of what you as a human can have in your reach through helping other people is huge. And that's just the number one reason why I decided I need to find my way to give back. And finding one that aligns with your skills is a lot easier than you may think.
Yeah. Well, this whole, just being able to live out your purpose through the work that you do and having those two things really aligned is, to me, that's the top of the game.
Absolutely.
So thank you for bringing your expertise, your passion, and your experience to Working Wardrobes.
Thank you for having me in the social enterprise team. Love it.
Well, you sharing your story is really like an exemplar of one person, right? Your experience. Over the course of last year, we broke records, Working Wardrobes records.
Yeah.
We reached more souls last year than we had in any other year of Working Wardrobes history. We reached 5,579 lives on their journeys. It is an honor and a privilege that we take quite seriously to be on that journey with the people that we get to be on it with. And our mission, as you really referred to, right, is to help people overcome all sorts of barriers to gainful employment. We know that most of the folks that we are helping are not looking to overcome one barrier or two. It's usually a constellation of things. You mentioned homelessness. We help people who have plus,
Yep.
right? Working through some sort of mental health issue, whether it's addiction, depression, whatever the diagnosis. We help people who are over 55 and re-entering or entering the workforce, which is a very difficult time in life to do that. We help people who are transitioning this, from the military into the civilian world. It's a lot of culture shock and a lot of like translation that needs to happen from literally what I did here. What do you even call that over here? And similarly with people who've been involved in the justice system or impacted by someone's involvement in the justice system. And we don't do the work alone. We are the experts in workforce development. We do an excellent job of upskilling, certification programs, preparing with soft skills our clients. And of course, we have this signature niche service that we kind of consider the cherry on top, right? Which is actually, it's only like 15% of what we do with clients.
Yeah.
It's the wardrobing piece, but it's what we're most well known for because it's so
Absolutely.
unique. And all of these pieces really ultimately are, like you mentioned, wrap around a client, but we don't do it alone. We partner with over 185 other organizations, programs, and services to provide what they're really good at to the client. So where another organization may have expertise in housing or medical care, we're bringing that expertise around our clients as well. So it's a pretty phenomenal organization to be a part of. And all of this is made possible by you. So thank you so much for being a part of our community of support that is creating this kind of impact right here in Southern California.
Absolutely. And one great note with those 55 impacted lives is, remember, we're also impacting everyone that loves and cares for those people.
Oh, totally,
Right?
totally.
We've all had experiences of maybe someone in our families having a troubles, or they're having barriers. And when you see your own family members or your best friend or people that you mentor overcome those barriers, it's affecting your life as well. So really, it's the power of the ripple. There's so many more people that you just can't capture in data like that that really fill the services.
Yeah. I like to do like a little bit of short math with this because when you think about since 1990, we've helped 125,000 people on these journeys. Even if just every person only knew one, right? That'd be 250,000 plus the 125. This is literally what changes the world. So pretty awesome. All right, well, let's get to business. What do you say?
Do it. Absolutely.
All right. We have an agenda that we're going to share with you. So we're going to talk about social enterprise and why we have it. What is it doing here? We're going to share with you some updates about our donation center and how the operation is going there. We're also, of course, going to talk about our retail arm of the business, the hangar, our retail stores, and we're going to talk about partnerships. So with no further ado, let's jump into it.
Absolutely. Well, social enterprise at Working Wardrobes is very unique in the sense that we have 3 retail stores and a donation center, which are all feeding into that. And now you may ask, what is a social enterprise? And the easiest and quickest way to explain that is it is a business that creates impact, not profit. So when you hear retail stores, you may be thinking trying to funnel money, funnel money, funnel money. In any other sense, that is correct, but we're funneling it purely for impact. We're doing it so that we can serve more clients a year, so that we can help more people and impact more lives. And we do that primarily through our donation center, which is the cornerstone of social enterprise and step 1 for every article of clothing that's donated to Working Wardrobes. And through that, we are then quality controlling these items. They are determined which store they're going to go to. And we have 2 outlets and we have a boutique. And our outlets are in Costa Mesa and Garden Grove. If you're near them, you need to check them out. And our boutique, if you like things that are a little more brand name, is over in Laguna Niguel. So definitely check that one out as well. But everything starts at our donation center and it is then distributed over to those stores.
Johnny, I think that this whole system, it's like its own ecosystem. And we talked quite a bit about the stores. I want to talk a little bit too about, you talked about this decision-making process, right? An item of clothing is donated and we have to make a decision about where is it best suited. Good pun. The suits, right? If they are not a designer suit, they're going to come here to our wardrobe center where they can outfit a client for an interview or even for a capsule wardrobe, right? And that decision is pretty easy to make. Is it business attire, business casual? Then if it's not designer, it's going to come to the wardrobe center and it's going to be able to literally outfit a client. If it is designer, I love the example you always share with me, right? Bonni, I can serve 3 clients with 1 suit if you let me sell it at the store versus putting it on 1 client in the wardrobe
That is
center.
true.
So that's literally like tripling the impact of just 1 donation. So I love that. This flow chart is a great example of how this decision making process goes, right? So from sort of top to bottom, your donation comes in, and that's not just from individuals either, right? That's from retailers. So we have literal semi trucks that will pull in with pallets to donate, just as often as we'll have individuals come in with a trunk full of beautiful clothes on hangers ready to be donated. Do you want to share any more of the details about how this works, Johnny, or did we cover it?
We did cover it, but one really interesting detail here is that remember, our clients and the workforce today need so much more than just a professional suiting. We have construction sites where it's a heavy investment to get yourself a pair of $300 boots just to protect your toes at time. And through a lot of our partners and a lot of our community donations, we're able to still impact the people who need those products. A good one that we recently received is we had someone donate a few pallets of scrubs, brand new medical grade scrubs. So now we are nice and set for the rest of this year for any of our clients who are entering the medical field that they get a few options of scrubs. And those are not cheap. Those are a few $100. And depending on what barriers you may have been facing, a few $100 just to enter the workforce can be its own barrier.
Yeah.
So that clothing and it being new and it being of a nice brand is going to give you the confidence when you're entering the workforce. And I mean, that first week of every job we've all had, right? Confidence is key that you're going to do great there. So
Totally.
it's a really important part to ensure that we're checking all those boxes for.
I love that you mentioned that because I'll never forget. I think it was his name was James, and the last piece of his employment journey was exactly what you're describing. And it was he needed steel-toed boots and a jacket and tools, and those were the final barriers. I think what you're really hitting on is we don't just need professional clothes. If you have clothes all styles, all genders, all seasons, we will not let anything go to waste. Everything will be used to help literally improve lives. This also really touches my soul on an environmental side because I put a lot of stuff in the trash, Johnny, and I feel guilty about it when I do it. I think that there is so much that is to be said for making things last longer, to go further. And, if there's that item in your closet that still has the tags on it, don't worry, there's a good place for it to go. Would you talk a little bit, Johnny, about some of the environmental impacts of the work that we're doing through social enterprise?
Absolutely. We receive a lot of donations that we are very, very thankful for. But in terms of seeing this, we see how much people really need to find an outlet for some of these articles of clothing that they no longer have a use for. And it could be for a variety of reasons. You may have had, unfortunately, a loved one in your life who's passed away, and we're trying to find a new article, a new avenue for their clothing and how it can still improve lives. And donating to Working Wardrobes is one route for that. You
It's a
may
beautiful
have
thing, like to have like the
absolutely.
legacy of the person you love live longer through these ripple effects you were describing.
And knowing that the clothing is treated with dignity,
Totally.
right?
Mhm.
It's not going to end up in some bags and we'll find someone for it in a couple years. No, it is immediately put on a hanger. It is immediately QC'd, immediately steamed and cleaned, and it is going to our wardrobe center to help a client or impacted one in our lives here. Another aspect of it is you may have unfortunately put on a few pounds and maybe it doesn't fit anymore, right? We can find a route for that too. That clothing's useful. It can go any way. So for any reason that clothing needs to find a new home, we find it. And that's helping it stay out of landfills. And we have a really interesting metric in social enterprise,
Oh yeah.
actually. We're trying to figure out how many times on average clothing is going through an actual person's life from
Oh,
person to person to person. You
I
may
love that.
say,
Yes.
I don't wear dresses often, but I need one for this event, and maybe I'll wear it to two more events, and after that, I'm kind of tapped out.
Right, right.
Well, now when you make that purchase of that dress, you're not going to feel bad knowing that I only got three uses and then it ended up in a landfill because you have working wardrobes as an option for it. So
Yeah.
that three uses gets turned
Right.
into another four for another
Uh-huh.
person, and then back to another five. And we're keeping it quality controlled and ensuring it's always going to be top quality and top tier for someone. And that's really what we're trying to get to help it prevent from ending up in a landfill.
Yeah. How many items would you guess we actually have donated every year?
It is around 600,000 items. So that is a lot. These are how many items are donated annually to us at Working Wardrobes. We upcycle many of these pieces for our retail stores. We're nearing 200,000. So that's almost half of it. We're getting close there. Afterwards, some of the items that may be a little disintegrated, missing
Mhm.
too many buttons or the holes a little too big, we do recycle. And this is by texture recycling or working with a lot of our partners to ensure that the textures of these items can be remade into new clothing as well. And then, of course, the most important reason that we receive clothing is for our clients and for all those that we serve. And weekly, we're sending 3,500 pieces to our wardrobe department. And this is encapsulating shoes, ties, jewelry, purses, blouses, dresses, shoes, everything. The
Yeah.
scrubs, like I mentioned,
Right.
those are there too. And then anything else that falls outside of these guidelines, but we know has a home with some of our
Mhm.
partner
Mhm.
agencies,
Yep.
we donate to them as well.
Yeah.
So this is really ensuring that we don't have an area where anything falls through the cracks.
Mhm.
Even the things that really need the most love to get back up somewhere,
Mhm.
we have a recycling opportunity for them for
Mhm.
those textiles, sorry, to be cleaned and then reused for other
Yeah.
garments.
I love this no item goes to waste. I am a collaborator and firm believer that the more we work together, the further we go. And I love that we are able to support other organizations doing amazing work too. I remember just like maybe about 2 months ago now, where we got one of those calls, right? And it was, we need help. And they were putting on an event for a lot of gentlemen who had been involved in the justice system or getting back on their feet. And what we had extra stock of, you were able to provide. And it was like extra portfolios and socks and shirts, right? And it was just, I don't know, I think about this, a lot of people call it synergy, right? But I think it's pretty magical to see it happen where there is the opportunity to help and we just somehow have the things that are needed.
Absolutely. And a lot of the donations that those gentlemen particularly needed were just plain t-shirts,
Mhm.
right? They were in living situations where they had about two to three different articles of clothing that they needed to make last for a whole week. And as all of us who do laundry, we know that's a challenge to make it last that long. So we were able to donate them plenty of casual to
Yep.
really get them back on their feet. And these partner agencies, they know what we're looking
Yep.
for too. When we're having our client events and we're serving 100 veterans at our Power Up for Success events, we have people we reach out to and say, hey, we need some more shoes. We need
Mhm.
more of this
Mhm.
style, this color, etc. And it's a win-win for everybody.
Right. I love that. Well, there was something else you mentioned. I'm going to take advantage of this opportunity. Maybe you'll help me out.
Mm.
You mentioned that we have sometimes scraps of clothing and things that are not usable. You said something like, the hole's too big, there's too many,
Yep.
buttons gone, right? So we had some clothing that needed a new life in a new way. And I want to share with you some of this opportunity in the shape of a bear. How cute is this? I'm like, I turn this way, I turn that way. She just wants to say hi to yours, I think.
Very
So
good.
maybe they can sit here and hang out for a little bit. Well, these bears, if you can tell, this one is made out of a tuxedo shirt. And obviously, he is Mr. Barry Fancy Pants. And I don't know what your bear's name is, but she looks like she is ready for some serious interview um, opportunities.
Absolutely. Look at that necklace. That's pretty.
These bears are offered up to you for a donation of just $100. And these are absolutely extraordinary, one of a kind pieces of art that were commissioned just for working wardrobes. And they are literally made from clothing scraps that were not going to be able to be worn on a human, but they are perfectly bear sized. I highly encourage you. We have a few more styles of these bears. So if you're interested and would like to see what else is available, these are really, really, literally impactful gifts because they are a donation. But they are also, I think, like you were mentioning, really a symbol of what it is that we are creating here. And that's sustainable, not just to the environment, but to the lives that are transformed as a result. And that ripple effect keeps going and going and going.
Absolutely. And one detail I love about these bears, and on each one of them, we have a note written by a change maker at Working Wardrobes. For those of you who are unaware, change makers are the staff of Working Wardrobes, the volunteers of Working Wardrobes. And each note on each one of these bears is sharing of a time or a reason that this change maker is with Working Wardrobes and thanking you for the donation and what we're able to accomplish because of it. So you're also getting a nice personal note, personally handwritten, to accompany the bear.
I have to tell you, our chief people and operations officer, Derek Benson, was actually gifted one of these bears, and he really proudly displays it because it is not only people ask him about it, right? Like, tell me about that bear. And then he's able to share with them his passion for this mission. But I could imagine how much a person, and I know Derek said this in his own way to me, how much he was grateful that someone gave him the gift of making a contribution to Working Wardrobe. So all right, this is very nice. I'm glad you got to meet these, and we'll set you aside for now. I feel like we were just on QVC for a second there.
And each bear is one of a kind. That's like what I really like, right? You're never going to run into someone who has one that looks exactly like yours. So, maybe in like 40, 50 years, they'll be super valuable. Get in when I was hot.
Well, speaking of all these partners and nothing going to waste, everything making an impact. Just last week, we had an incredible Power Up for Success event that we hosted right here at our Career Success Center. It was incredible because since the fire, we haven't hosted at our center a full day experience for this large of a group of clients. So we had almost 50 clients, almost 50 volunteers with us on Friday. It was absolutely phenomenal. And as I was walking through wardrobing, I was I'm here every day, but I was kind of experiencing it for the first time a little bit. And one of the volunteers was pointing out to me, she said, wow. And this is going to be the opposite of what I just said, right? But she said, wow, these are designer shoes. Tell me about these designer shoes. And what she was pointing to was Ferragamo. We had several pairs of Ferragamo shoes. And so I have to ask you, Johnny, what's the story behind the Ferragamo shoes? And is there more to this than just a couple pairs of shoes?
Oh, absolutely. Plenty more to it. So in the retail world, we have many different manufacturing philosophies and principles there. And a lot of our partners understand our critical needs and what we're looking for to serve our clients here. And Ferragamo is one of those partners, and they were updating their staff uniforms. And if you've ever been in Ferragamo, you go in there and they are looking confident and they are looking sharp because they're wearing some Ferragamo. They're wearing some awesome stuff, right? We talked about confidence earlier. It transcends. So as they're updating all their uniforms for their staff at every level of it, they obviously have a lot of textile and a lot of clothing that they're trying to wonder what to do with. And that's where Working Wardrobes came in to save the day. And they were able to donate to us. And that really helped us support our client initiatives for at least a year, a good portion of it. It was a large, very large donation. And that donation of their staff uniforms was perfect and in line for what we were looking for our clients and those that we impact. And that's why you saw our clients wearing Ferragamo trousers, shirts, and shoes. And we have many partnerships like this. Another one is the Black Tux, who came in recently, and they're updating completely the shoe wear that their line holds. So they sent us all their used shoes that they would rent out, and these things were in pristine quality. I was like, these aren't used. Are you sure this is the wrong one? Like, let me double check. Like, if we got to send it back, I understand, because these are way too new. Like, no, that's for you all. And it absolutely was amazing. And it goes down back to that confidence. When you walk into the first week at work, you want to be confident. That interview, you want to be confident. And I really encourage anyone, if you have family members in the retail business, they may very well be looking what they can do with excess apparel. I remember when I was working at my past organizations, that was an often challenge I had at least once a year. So
Mhm.
definitely let them know about us and how we can help.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I think most people only think about individual contributions,
Mhm.
but retailer, manufacturer, if you are in the clothing business, we would love to partner with you. So please keep that in mind. I'm really glad you shared that. Those are great examples of corporate support. And really, I think what the through line of all of this is owning our power.
Mhm.
That every single one of us has the power to create an impact, a positive difference in the world, and how we choose to show up with each other, how we choose to harness that power, how we choose to help other people share their power is pretty profound. So I think it's also very much like our founding story, that it takes the power of one person to say, I'm going to help make a difference. Here's how I'm going to do it. And to put that out in the world, invite people to come and do it
Mhm.
with you, not to keep it a secret, but to share it is amazing. I think our volunteers make our mission possible, individuals, companies, all of it. You've seen that too, right?
Oh, absolutely. One of my favorite ones is for when we have organizations or just group of locals who are interested in hosting clothing drives.
Yes,
Because
totally,
from a
totally.
community perspective, you're getting your closest friends or those that you
Hmm.
work with
Hmm.
to come together, bring the clothing, spend some time with each other, and know that you're doing this all in support of a really impactful and important mission.
Right.
And that is building the community in two different ways. At a minimum, I'm sure there's so many more, but you're building it immediately with you and those around you. And then again, with the donations that Working Wardrobes is then used to impact clients.
Hmm. It's incredible. So I think we're showing a picture now of the Women's Club of Orange County who did exactly this, right? Do you have any sense, Johnny, of what the impact is? Like what did this small group of women who decided they wanted to make a difference, what did they ultimately create? What did they do?
Absolutely. So, like you said, the small but very impactful, and they were out there. They were out there getting all their friends involved, and they brought us so much. I believe we had almost 1,000 items, if not more.
Wow.
We had about 450 pieces of clothing, 40 pairs of shoes, purses and wallets in the 40s as well. So much jewelry, 200 or so units of jewelry,
Mhm.
and we take so much more than just things that you can wear on your body. They were able to bring us toothpaste, toothbrushes, all new, of course,
Uh-huh.
toiletries, wet wipes, little sticks of deodorant,
Mhm.
because you don't know what situation or barrier someone currently
Yeah.
facing.
Yeah.
And those items are absolutely able to be used to help
Mhm.
us with serving those clients.
Mhm.
In addition, of course, while we said the Women's Club of Orange County, they also are there to help us serve our male clients as well, collecting units of clothing for them. I believe we got 5 pairs of shoes, 60 items of clothing there, plenty.
Yeah.
And of course, cherry on the top, because they just couldn't do enough for us, ended it all with $1,000 check donation to Working Wardrobes, which helps us keep the lights on and serve more and more clients.
Well, you're right. I mean, to have that donation center literally up and running to collect the donations for people to come together and volunteer in does take dollars
It
too.
does.
Takes dollars and donations of product. That is incredible. Thank you, Women's Club of Orange County, for creating this impact with us. And I'm so impressed, as you said, Johnny, how just a group of dedicated individuals can come together and create such a broad impact for men and women. And that's a lot of items that's going to contribute to that 500,000.
Oh, yeah.
I'm also glad that you mentioned the accessories and the jewelry, right? Because this is another piece that people don't often know that we are in need of. When we talk about outfitting our clients, we are talking pretty much head to toe. So when you accessorize an outfit, that means it also needs jewelry. And this does, you are always telling me and reminding me, because I often forget that even if it's like you have the one earring left or the necklace is in a knot, if it's a real gold necklace and you're over it trying to unknot it, we will gladly accept it and work on that. So thank you for those. That's excellent.
Yeah, absolutely. And I have to give a big shout out to our team of volunteers who are absolute experts when it comes to jewelry and telling us what we have when it's
Mhm.
coming in.
Yeah,
And this jewelry ensures that we're getting it to the appropriate places and that
right.
we're getting it there properly cleaned, right?
Yeah.
Sure, everyone's had a moment in their life they try to clean a gifted piece of jewelry and then the next day it's a total different color and you're like, what did I do wrong? You can't use Windex? I I didn't get it. but our volunteers ensure that it is taken care of appropriately.
It was like giving it new life, right?
Yeah,
Just hopefully the same
absolutely.
color.
Yeah. Well, Bonnie, I'm so sorry to interrupt, but I got to point out the shirt you're wearing. I noticed this long sleeve. Where did that come from?
No, John, you can find looks like this at the hanger. I love pieces that are statement pieces, and I am not that good about
That's a statement. That is a statement. I just saw the wave and I was like, oh, okay.
Yes, it is a fun one. Looks like this are things that I wouldn't be probably brave enough to try on myself, but your incredible team always pushes my boundaries in a really good way. And you were talking earlier about that like thing that makes you feel confident. I never would have grabbed an orange shirt in my life, and this is such a beautiful piece, right?
So you were styled
Of course,
by one of our store managers, right?
many times.
So that's, I mean, I'm in the same boat. It's hard to get out of your comfort zone when
Yeah,
you're being told to wear something. But then if you have someone who has that eye for
yeah,
fashion, someone who
yeah.
might know a little bit more than you, right?
Oh, a lot more.
Right. And they give you that confidence boost of like, just try it on. And if you
Yeah.
tell me you don't like it, it's totally fine, but try it on. That's the minimum, right?
A reenactment right there.
Right? Exactly. Try it on as a minimum. I mean, I know they're saleswomen, but they've got me walking out with a lot of things I did not think I would like it.
Right?
Now they're like normal in my closet. Like they are my go-to.
Yeah.
So okay, thanks for sharing. I love that.
Yes, asking. I know. I love that about our team too. It's like I don't know what the right word is, but what I want to say is that I feel always so seen by our team. Like when you're talking about styling, it's not just a like, oh, I love this thing. I'm going to put this random thing on this random person. It's who is this beautiful soul in front of me?
Absolutely.
What's going to look best on them? And like you said, what's going to make them feel most confident and bring out themselves? And I think that's another way we harness power, right? That like the ultimate piece of that is how we present ourselves, how we feel, and how we're able to engage then in the world. But before that exterior part is the interior and really being seen and acknowledged and communicated maybe in a way that you wouldn't ever put out in the world, but you are being seen in that light is pretty phenomenal. And that's something we do for every customer in a store, every client in our wardrobe center, and of course for each other. It's pretty beautiful.
Absolutely. And like one thing that I love about it is like I mentioned earlier, we have a client who may be going into a work site, a construction
Yeah,
site. They
yeah,
don't need the business suit.
no,
That's not what they're looking
no,
for. Their barrier is different.
yeah,
And someone may be shopping for a graduation gown,
right.
for something to wear accompanying a wedding or a rehearsal.
Mhm.
And it can be a little challenging to just walk into a store by yourself and have to kind of search out someone to ask them for that help. But at the hangar, you don't need to search someone
No,
out. They're gonna come to you and
yeah.
ask, like, hey, how can we help? And it helps remove that barrier for you. And I guarantee you're gonna come out with a couple style ideas that you really, really like.
Oh, undoubtedly, undoubtedly. Oh, okay, let's flip a little bit because this wardrobe center, this career success center has been bustling this summer. I think in 1 week we served over 100 students.
Oh,
So
easily.
probably three, I know. Um, I just want to, I know I'm kind of flipping the script a little bit here, Johnny, but it's been phenomenal. And I think that a lot of people think that that we only help women or that we only help adults. And to learn that we're working also further up the pipeline with youth is new information for them. So did you know that we also help youth? And we have some incredible partnerships that help us help youth. One example of this kind of partnership has been the Simon Scholars. These are youth who are for they're first generation college bound students who take their academics very seriously and are in a program that is really providing a whole other slew of resources. I talked about this before, right? We are like doing this one piece and the Simon Scholars is providing a whole lot of other pieces, but they are tapping into our expertise to provide these students with one of our workshops, which is the power of your image. And I love this workshop so much because it's really about understanding brands and how we are each our own brand. I am communicating to you my brand right now, and you're experiencing my brand right now, as same as yours, Johnny, right? And so we teach our students, our clients about what it is to create and communicate your own brand, to practice an elevator pitch to really be able to represent yourself. And then we really kind of round that out then with the wardrobe service as a tool in how you communicate your brand. So it's this really full service piece. With hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of youth coming through this summer. I would imagine that this has stretched our inventory. Have you been able to keep up with the demand?
Quite frankly, no. It is a very significant demand,
Yeah.
and sizes range for our youth, just like they do for adults as well. So we're looking at smaller sizes as hard to find the inventory for, larger sizes, hard to find the inventory for, shoes, notoriously hard to find our inventory for, and same for purses and accessories. So it has been a challenge, but we rely on a lot of our community partners, and it takes a lot of extra phone calls to just maybe get the one pair of shoes in a very specific size for someone. But it's really critical that we do that, right? We don't want to host a group of these youth and have one left out without
No,
the
oh,
pair of
absolutely
shoes,
not. Yeah,
right? That's
absolutely.
the whole point, is that we're bolstering your confidence. That does the opposite.
Right.
So it's extremely critical that we have the inventory that we can comfortably serve as many that are coming through these programs. Because these youth, while many may think they're not experiencing as many intense barriers as others, that's incorrect. They absolutely are. And having them learn these foundational skills regarding how to search for a job, the elevator pitch at this young age, is helping prevent them from running into some of these barriers in the future. So ensuring that we're able to still honor this program, really expand it, help and assist as many of the clients through this program as possible is key. And to do that, we need a pipeline of clothing inventory that is constantly coming in.
Yeah, big time, big time. You know, you just said something that made me think about what I heard. I was in the lobby and I got to witness this beautiful interaction with one of our clients and his success coach. And the client was saying, literally, it was Coach Matt, I got the job. And he was so excited and he was sharing it with him. And Coach Matt said something to the effect of, opportunity favors the prepared. And you were prepared. And I think that's what you're really talking about, right? That before it's worse, like to be prepared for those opportunities and to be able to seize them is incredible. We did that. I mentioned this briefly, but we did that with about 45 clients on Friday. It was, I think, for me, it was a transformational day to witness how much transformation we created in a day. And it was a phenomenal day because we all, again, harnessed our power and came together. We had corporations, individuals, volunteers sharing not just their styling, passion, and expertise, but serving on a career panel, talking about all different career pathways and different ways that they came to where they are, and really reflecting to our clients what's possible. I loved the story of one of the career panelists who shared that she was working as a hostess and server, and the restaurant was right near a bank branch, and the branch manager frequented this restaurant for lunch, and he experienced her customer service so often and so consistently that he offered her to come work for him. And that was how she began her banking career. And all these years later, she's worked her way up, the ladder. And so she was able to share that. It was just an incredible day. So we had this career panel to start off the day. We had a volunteer who donated these beautiful books that were filled with inspirational quotes. And it was so touching because they were notes that her mother had shared with her, like over 2,000 notes that her mom had sent her over the course of her career. I know, right?
Amazing.
And so she's compiled these books, and all of our clients received a copy of the book. We went into rotations where we had a couple of different workshops. One of the workshops was absolutely phenomenal. It was interview skills and really hard skill prep, right? So clients really left here interview ready. Another workshop was provided by one of our partner agencies, NAMI, and they really helped us work through what we're calling job search resiliency. And what we mean by that is it takes a lot of no's to get to a yes. And so she really taught us how to really see these as opportunities to be polished and to reframe a no into, this was good feedback and I'm better prepared now, and to be able to keep going in the face of all of that. I think also acknowledging what's really going on in our inner world when those things, a lot of the not enoughs come up, and a lot of stuff. So that was phenomenal. And of course, I think it was about 58 volunteers throughout the day that helped style every single client. And then we had a small cadre of volunteers that were solely working on elevator pitches. Melissa Pearl donated again her beautiful photography of headshots, and all of our clients received a digital headshot. Just what a day of transformation it was. I left feeling so uplifted.
It was amazing. And like you said earlier, with Simon Scholars, we served, 100 and some change over a week. This was 45 in a day,
Yeah,
right?
right.
And that's building community in a whole nother way, as well as
Right.
they're meeting each other. They're meeting people who have similar life experiences, who have worked in similar industries. And it's just so amazing to see how the community, our volunteers all came together to support these groups of people.
It takes everyone, but like pitching in a different
Takes
way
the
too.
village.
It takes a village.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I love this picture too because you're getting to see some of our supporters, and that might be you right there in this picture on our webinar today. We had many different foundations and companies, individuals who provided funding that made the day possible. Some people provided food, some provided, every piece of this is not done in isolation. So thank you, thank you, thank you for creating this experience and creating prepared folks that will then be able to seize these opportunities.
And one point I would love to call out on this
Yeah.
slide is the volunteering aspect, that QR code there.
Mm-hmm.
So many volunteers I spoke to on that Friday were unsure of where their expertise would land. And I really encourage and challenge everyone to just take a look and see what we have as options for volunteering.
Oh, yeah.
I think you'd be surprised, and you might find what's exactly right up your alley. And guess what? If you don't, you can reach out to us and tell us what is up your alley, and I can guarantee we'll find a spot.
I'm glad
There's
you said that.
always
Right? Oh, and totally, whatever your expertise is, you can share it. Yeah. We've had people sharing expertise that they love Excel and they love to data analyze and figure out. We have postings for if you're in the sales field and you like working the phones, we need help. We always need help calling potential retail partners, right? To help literally get us more clothing products. We need help in every single possible way. So if there is, whatever your limitations are in terms of time, skill, scope, please don't hesitate. Don't hold back. Don't share the goods. All right. So Johnny, Puffs, we call it Puffs for short, right? Power Up for Success. Puffs was amazing. It takes me back to my other question though about inventory, supply, and demand. So tell me, what do you need? What can we do to help you get it? What's going on?
Absolutely. Well, as we mentioned, that was 45 people in one day. And you got to give people some different styles and some different colors to wear, because the big part of it is we want to style you to you, right?
Yeah.
What we can make you confident in. So it takes about 3 suits to find that right one for these clients. And what we need for that, and what my wish list, if anything, is the pipeline to this type of clothing. So if you know a shoe manufacturer and that's all they do, no worries. We love them. You only do jackets, that's fine too. You only do ties, that's fine too. I love this photo here. Right here, you'll see me holding up a few shirts from Cuts. And Cuts is another wonderful one of our partners here. And they only do casual t-shirts and casual shorts. But so many clients that we serve have these barriers where this is exactly what fulfills that barrier. These are high quality shirts, and it is so nice to be able to be gifted one of these after you're getting your suit, and know that you have something in case you're finding a little more casual of an office job. You still have something that's appropriate to wear on the Wednesdays there. You don't need to be the professional Mondays, but if you got a casual Friday, you have something good too. And remember, we're trying to help people not just land the job, but for those first few weeks after it. It takes some time until that first check comes in. It takes some time until you're on your feet. On your feet just isn't getting the call. It's a little bit more than that too. So if you have any connections in the retail or manufacturing spaces, that was my slide. Make sure you got that information down and let them know to reach out to me.
Absolutely. Well, after you finish donating all those clothes, I'm sure you have an empty space in your closet that needs to be filled. So I like to say, after you drop, come shop.
Yep.
So tell me, Johnny, if you can, real quickly. I know we're getting close on our time here, but I know you have so many locations and sales. Tell us what you want us to know about the hangar.
Oh, absolutely. Please make sure that you are checking out our 3 locations, our outlets at Garden Grove and Costa Mesa. If you Google the hangar, you'll find them. Scan those QR codes if you're interested in helping us with styling as well. And if you like sales and you like finding the gold in thrifting, these 2 QR codes are going to be your best friend. We have one for our email and our text blasts as well. So for our SMS, whenever we have a sale, you'll know the day of. But if you want a little extra hint, definitely sign up for that email one as well. And that's how you'll find our sales. But watch out, you're only shopping on the sales. You're letting other people get to that good stuff before you. So make sure you're checking out the hangar at least a couple times a week, is what I would recommend.
Many people are also members of our Rebuilding Careers Coalition, and they receive a 20% off coupon throughout the year. So they don't have to wait for the sale. So by being a monthly or annual donor, you have that access all the time. So keep it up. I think that we had a really special experience last Friday as well that I want to highlight because it started at the Hangar Boutique in Laguna Niguel. We invited Mayor Pro Tem of Laguna Niguel, Stephanie Otto, to come in and experience the magic of being styled at Working Wardrobes. And she literally said and did the things you just said to me, Johnny, which was like, oh, I would never wear that. Oh, that's not me. And then she put these things on, and I'm thinking about those pink pants in particular. And she was like, wait, what? I love the way I look in this. Stephanie Otto came not only to receive, that experience, but because she was curious and wanted to know what is this gem in Laguna Niguel. So she came and received that styling, and then on Friday she came back to Working Wardrobes for our Power Up for Success event and provided the service that she had received. She was so blown away by the impact. And I think several times I saw her in tears, not like, but just teary eyed because it was so inspiring to her to know that she was creating the feeling she too had experienced for our clients. There are so many opportunities for corporations to also engage in our mission. And I think it's a beautiful way for corporations to express their values through their employees. And I think many people who are employers know that employees want to live their values also at work. And one of the ways that you can do that is by volunteering with Working Wardrobes. We've had large groups come in. In fact, you just had a large group at Garden Grove, at the hangar at Garden Grove.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The Home Depot Foundation was able to help us repaint the store. So that's using their expertise for something that we desperately needed. And at our donation center, we have these corporate service responsibility days all the time,
Yeah.
monthly. Plenty of projects that go around, and a majority of the projects are revolving around the clothing that is donated into us, helping us with our inventory systems, and helping us ensure it gets to the right spot. So it's definitely a unique, one of a kind experience as well.
I love that too, how you're able to curate experiences depending on the needs, right? And it could be a large group or it could be individuals. If it's a large group, you might say, like you were just describing, we have a project we need done, and maybe this is going to take 3 or 4 sessions, and that group is going to own that project. Or it could be we're going to come for 3 hours. We're going to be here at the donation center, and we're going to, do multiple things while we're there, but we're building our team, we're making an impact. And obviously, you know the benefits already of all of that and the ripple effects. As individuals, though, we can also do this work, and those we'll put up a QR code in a minute, and you can grab that as well. But these are all opportunities for you to be a part of the mission, not just as an individual, but also as a group. I am so always blown away by the experiences that we have kind of collected as a team. And we have a member of the team, Janelle, who at the donation center, who shared a story that kind of is connected to what you were describing as what we refer to these as legacy donations, right? When a loved one's memory becomes even more of a blessing because their clothing has been donated. And Janelle, you'll probably share this better than I possibly could, how she perceives this.
Absolutely. Janelle right now is actually working with one of our corporate social responsibility groups. So it's so funny that the story is coming up, but she really enjoys being able to be hands-on with these donors, as you called it, who are donating legacy donations. And it is a wardrobe of a loved one who has moved on, and we are trying to figure out what's the next step for the clothes. And Working Wardrobes fills that aspect for them because we're able to utilize the clothing in kindness and dignity to serve clients. So it's not going to just a single route. And how Janelle describes it is that she loves having that connection one-on-one with someone and learning the story behind the clothing. And one aspect that she shared with me is someone came in to donate a blouse that his wife wore, and it was one of her favorite blouses. And as she passed away, she just said, please make sure everything that I have that you're not going to keep is used for good in the world. Very, very blanket statement, right? But it's not going to be in a landfill, and it's going to help change some lives. And as he's handing over these items, that blouse really struck out to Janelle, and she made a comment on it. It allowed him to tell the story behind the blouse. And you're really looking through someone's life when you're going through their clothes. These are very personal belongings. But we're able to repurpose them to help change lives. And to me, it's something that you may not think about, but it's so easily done. And we hear this from all of our staff and all of our volunteers at the donation center, that it's such a beautiful moment to be able to share that with our donors.
Totally. And it's energy. We keep on paying it forward. I'd like to revisit some data real quickly, because I know that this first half of the year has been so intense. And I want to, if you don't mind, throw up some data with you to share. We have already, just the first half of this year, Johnny, what have we done with wardrobing? How many people?
We have over 930.
Wow.
Wardrobing side.
Wow.
There is a lot. Right here we have one of our client stories, Isaiah. Oh my
gosh. Isaiah, I got to meet, and if you don't mind, I have to butt in here because I was telling you just a few minutes ago about Coach Matt and this interaction I saw. It was with Isaiah, and Isaiah was the one saying to Coach Matt, "I got the job," and Coach Matt was the one that was saying, "Opportunity favors the prepared." Isaiah, you were prepared,
and I love that quote. That's
right?
Just,
so how did we prepare Isaiah? I mean, we did so much to help him. There was, of course, the wardrobing, but that was the finishing touch, right? We helped him with transportation. We helped him prepare for his interviews. We helped give him career guidance. There was so many resources that he needed help accessing. But one of the things he really appreciated was being able to use our job search lab, right? When you're at the job search lab, you get to have Insta help. That's what I think about it. It's you don't have to call the help desk. The help desk is 3 steps away. We provided him with tuition help so he could go to barber school at the same time that he got a job. I mean, there were so many aspects of our program that Isaiah was able to, I don't want to say take advantage of, that sounds weird, but to really, access.
It's wrap around. It was every aspect of what Isaiah needed. That's amazing.
Yeah, it really is. And I want to help more Isaiahs, Johnny. I think that there is no limit to how much we could do. If we had all the clothes in the world, right, we would be able to help every single person. Okay, maybe that might be a little bit big.
That's the goal. We're going to get there one day, but absolutely. So we do need more clothing. And one thing that you can do is definitely by helping us book a clothing drive. So through your employer, through your work, through anywhere that you volunteer, should volunteer with us too, but any religious institutions, your office, your neighbors, whatever. If you have a group of people, definitely pitch doing a clothing drive. It is a great way to build community with your friends, your loved ones, and then also help the community with working wardrobes. You can also volunteer, as I mentioned, and use those unique skills and expertise that you have with us. You can volunteer as a group as well. So after the clothing drive, you want to come and help us quality control it or get it to the clients or style them. Definitely, we can do a group drive as well, a group volunteer. If you're really out there and you only have a few very interesting strengths to you, but maybe there's stuff that we need, like think about repairing an AC. Hey, guess what? We do need that. So no matter what your strength is, no matter your skill set, we can definitely use it. And then, of course, last but not least, if you are always looking for a good deal or you're a fashionista and you love clothing, then check out the hanger, because all of the funds from the hanger and revenue is then funneled back into the mission of Working Wardrobes. It's just another way to help people out. And we can all go ahead and get something new for ourselves, bring something old in to donate, and
Mhm.
ensure that we are changing a life.
I love that piece too there, Johnny. It's like it's its own ecosystem, right? If you think about social enterprise, if there's like one thing you took away from today's webinar, it would be understanding, I think, this. That the thing that you do by donating clothes contributes to this ecosystem that allows us to provide that finishing touch to our clients. It takes the donation center, all the volunteerism that happens there, the stores and the wardrobe center all working together to be able to provide those wardrobe services to our clients, and it's its own business within the business. And
Yeah.
like you started us out, it's social enterprise because it is a business to create an impact, and the impact we're creating with this business is to outfit our clients for success.
And you're also preventing anything from ending in the landfills.
Yeah.
Don't forget, right?
Yeah.
We want to give that clothing another life
Yeah.
as well. And it's just so beautiful to see.
Well, I just got the nudge over here that we have some questions and that I should probably stop and let you have your questions answered.
Ooh.
I know we already had a couple come through. Let me grab this one. Okay, I got it. Okay, got it. All right, Johnny, here comes. Oh, this is cool. Okay, I've noticed this is a little bit of the tie-in with sustainability. I love this
Oh,
question.
great.
I've noticed that some of the items in the stores are from fast fashion brands. How do you balance the need to sell affordable clothing with the negative impacts of fast fashion? I love this.
That's a very good question. So, as we know, fast fashion generally does not do much in the benefit of our environment, unfortunately. However, how we process that in our life cycle at Working Wardrobes is we are giving this clothing another life. So, rather than one person having worn it and then it ends in a landfill,
Yeah.
instead, we are giving it to 3, 4 multiple life cycles through people who are interested in making the purchases for that. And at the end of that clothing's life cycle, we're then utilizing those textiles to produce more clothing. So it isn't wasted. Now, the fast fashion has already been created.
Right.
So it is something that at that point we want to just utilize to help give it the most value in its life cycle there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I loved how you were talking about that cycle too. It just keeps going. All right. Oh, okay. All right. We have another question. I love thrifting at the hanger. I was thinking
I'm
you
a
were gonna
fan of
like that.
that.
Yeah, me too. How do you make sure? I think it's what you said though. It's almost like gambling, right? You like love going and looking for those pieces of gold. Like, what am I gonna find? Okay, I love everything in here. How do you make sure that the items you receive are high quality and on trend?
Ooh, that's definitely
That
through
is from a
our
fashionista.
yes. The on trend part was definitely the kicker there. So it's definitely through our quality control process. So every item that is donated to us is quality controlled at a minimum of twice. And it's first ensured to make sure that, first of all, it's clean enough, right? It doesn't have any major holes. It's got its buttons. It's a functional piece of apparel. And then we are then looking to see the quality of it in terms of, is it going to our boutique or to our outlets here? And if it's something that is just seasonal, then we at times may hold it for when that season arrives, because guess what? Our clients are going to need it when the season changes. Sometimes people need something that's a little heavier, a little lighter. So we're able to find the opportunities for it then. And now in terms of the styling, I like to challenge everyone and say, hey, trends, they fall out and they come back. So see what our stylists at the hanger can do for you, because you might be able to walk out with something that makes you the next trendsetter.
Oh, I love that. Okay, I think we have time for just one more. I know you have two. Just do one more. All right. I'm no longer in the OC area, but would love to support Working Wardrobes. Thank you. Do you have any plans to offer online shopping options?
Ooh, amazing. Yes. So right now, the best way that you can ensure that you don't miss out on these is to ensure that you are signed up to our e-blast and our SMS. Then make sure you're following Working Wardrobe socials as well. Now, we do not have an online store as of yet, but plans are in the work to make something happen. If you have an idea of what you would like that store to look like, I definitely want to hear it. So go make sure you reach out to me. But if you're looking for a one-of-a-kind item or something specific, let us know, because we would love to make that exception to make your day.
I love that. Well, we'll pause there so I can just wrap up and let you know about a couple of things coming up that you too can participate in addition to dropping off your donation,
And
shopping. That's right. One of the best ways to shop with us actually online is coming up soon, and that is we have a gala. September 14 is our annual gala, and you are invited, of course, and bring a friend. We are celebrating the power of opportunity at this year's gala, and we know we are creating infinite horizons for the clients that we have the honor of serving. Join us in this incredible opportunity. Buy your tickets now. In fact, buy a table and bring in amazing souls that you know that want to also experience and savor and contribute to this mission. We're also seeking auction items. If you have an auction item, maybe you have access to travel or tickets to a sporting event or theater. These are all opportunities for you to support Working Wardrobes by donating those items. And of course, we are still in need of sponsorships or underwriting. So if your company or you would like to make sure that the event is put off with your name attached to it, we would love that too. So please let us know. I know we just showed you, but I want to show you again. Come shop with us. We have amazing stores. If you search your map, just look for the Hanger Outlet or the Hanger Boutique, and we are ready to help you get into the most beautiful fashions, but really to bring out your best self and feel that confidence. We've shared a lot of information today, and this is not the end. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to our newsletter. We just sent it out, I think, yesterday or today, and it was a beautiful recap of our Power Up for Success event on Friday. We also, of course, are on all the social, well, not all, but most of the social media channels. So you can stay up to date with us on upcoming events. And of course, our phone number and website are there. This is our last webinar of 2024. So I look forward very much to seeing you at our next Impact webinar in 2025, but there are many, many more opportunities for us to stay in touch throughout the rest of the year. Thank you, thank you, thank you for your incredible support and help contributing to a stronger, better tomorrow today by helping people overcome barriers to gainful employment. We're glad you're with us. Bye for now.
Thank you.